Captain Krazak adjusted his ceremonial armor in front of the crystalline mirror, admiring how the prismatic light bounced off his iridescent scales. The guard room of the Imperial Palace practically sparkled with the reflected glory of his 12-member elite team, each of them standing tall and proud with their quantum steel weapons at the ready. Another day of being the most magnificent warriors in the known galaxy, Krazak announced, his secondary breathing gills fluttering with amusement. The rest of his squad chittered in agreement, their mandibles clicking in perfect harmony. Lieutenant Vex'na, his second in command, slithered forward on her anti-gravity discs. "Captain, there's a situation. The Emperor's Council has sent a representative from that backwater dirt planet Earth." She pronounced the word like she was describing something stuck to the bottom of her gravity disk. Earth Krazak's upper eye ridges rose in perfect symmetry. "Those primitive bipeds who haven't even figured out proper tentacle evolution? Send them in. We could all use a good laugh before morning drills." The doors to the guard room hissed open with their usual dramatic flair. A single human female walked in, dressed in what appeared to be cloth. Actual cloth, not even basic plasma weave armor. The guards didn't bother hiding their laughter, their various appendages shaking with mirth. "I'm Amanda Chen, Earth's representative for the combat trials." Her voice carried across the room without any sonic enhancement. How quaint. Krazak circled her, all four of his arms crossed in different configurations of dismissal. "Look, tiny human, I don't know what stories you've heard about the Imperial Guard, but we're the elite of the elite of the elite. We've crushed Zentarian berserkers, outmaneuvered PX Lari mindhunters, and wait, are those metal buttons on your jacket? Not even magnetic closures." Amanda stood there, hands clasped behind her back, a slight smile playing at the corners of her mouth. "Yes, Captain, just simple buttons. We humans like to keep some things traditional." The entire guard room erupted in laughter. Even the quantum steel weapons seemed to vibrate with amusement. "Tell you what," Krazak said, wiping tears of hilarity from his tertiary eyes. "Go back to your dirt ball. Tell them you tried. We won't even report this. What would you call this? Vex'na." "A comedy show, Captain." "Yes, this comedy show to the Emperor. Save yourself the embarrassment of actual combat trials." Amanda's smile didn't waver. "I'm afraid I can't do that, Captain. The trials are mandatory for all species seeking representation in the Galactic Council. Unless, of course, you're forfeiting on behalf of the Imperial Guard." The laughter stopped so abruptly it was like someone had activated a sonic dampening field. Krazak's scales shifted from amused iridescence to warning crimson. "You dare suggest the Emperor's elite guard would forfeit? To a human?" "Not suggesting anything, Captain. Just following protocol." Amanda rocked slightly on her heels, still smiling. "Shall we begin?" The grand ceremonial chamber of Emperor Zax Thor the Magnificent hummed with barely contained energy. Quantum crystals pulsed in perfect synchronization along the spiral walls, their light reflecting off the assembled dignitaries from 100 worlds. The Emperor himself lounged on his gravitational throne, his 7-meter-tall form rippling with bioluminescent patterns of mild interest. So the Emperor's voice resonated through the chamber. "Earth seeks full membership in the Galactic Council." His lower arms manipulated a series of holographic displays, while his upper arms gestured expressively. Through the traditional combat trials, no less. Amanda Chen stood at the center of the chamber, looking comically small next to Captain Krazak and his guards. "Yes, your luminescence. As is our right under galactic law, Section 7, Paragraph 12. She quotes law at us. Lieutenant Vex'na's gravity discs whirred with derision, while wearing clothes that don't even self-repair. The Emperor's patterns shifted to amused purple. "The law is quite clear. Any species seeking full council membership must prove their worth through combat. Their chosen warrior must face my elite guard in 3 trials of escalating difficulty." He leaned forward, all 6 eyes focusing on Amanda. "Are you sure you wouldn't prefer the alternative path? Perhaps a few centuries as a protectorate species?" "Thank you, your luminescence, but Earth prefers the direct approach." Captain Krazak stepped forward, his armor automatically adjusting its crystalline structure to catch the most impressive light angles. "My Emperor, if I may, this is beneath us. The human will be defeated in seconds. It's a waste of Imperial time and resources." "Careful." Captain Amanda's voice carried a hint of what might have been concern. "You haven't asked about the stakes yet." The Emperor's patterns rippled with curiosity. Ah, yes, the stakes. Traditional rules apply. If the human champion wins, Earth gains immediate full membership and, what was that amusing addendum? A holographic document materialized in the air. Amanda read from it clearly, and the defeated guard must serve one standard solar cycle as ceremonial guards on Earth, learning our ways and customs. The chamber erupted in a cacophony of alien laughter. Various appendages slapped against different body parts, creating a symphony of amusement. Even the Emperor's patterns danced with mirth. And if you lose, Krazak managed between bouts of laughter. Earth accepts protectorate status for the next 1,000 years, and I personally serve in your guard as a living reminder of human hubris. The laughter doubled. A Zentarian ambassador actually fell off his levitation pad. The Emperor's patterns settled into a royal blue of official decree. Very well. The trials will begin tomorrow at first rise. 3 challenges: speed, strength, and strategy. Captain Krazak, select your champions. Krazak performed an elaborate bow, his armor singing with movement. My Emperor, to maintain some shred of challenge, I will face the human personally only in the final trial. Lieutenant Vex'na will handle speed, and Sergeant Grox will demonstrate true strength. He turned to Amanda. We'll try not to damage you permanently. Wouldn't want to ruin such an interesting museum piece. Amanda bowed, a simple movement that somehow drew every eye in the chamber. Much appreciated, Captain. Though I should warn you, humans have a funny way of surprising people. The only surprise, Vex'na hissed, will be if you survive the first trial. The Emperor raised all 4 arms, his patterns blazing with official gold. Then it is decreed, let the trials commence at dawn, and someone get our human guest some proper armor. It would be embarrassing to have her defeated while wearing. He paused, patterns flickering with confusion. What is that material called again? Cotton, your luminescence, Amanda smiled. And thank you, but I'll stick with my own gear. We humans can be quite particular about our combat attire. As the chamber began to empty, Krazak heard the Emperor mutter to his chief advisor. At least this will be more entertaining than the time the Regelians tried to qualify using interpretive dance. The Imperial Guard's private training arena pulsed with energy as Lieutenant Vex'na pushed her anti-gravity discs to their limits. She blazed through the holographic obstacle course, her neural whips crackling with enough power to slice through quantum steel. The timer stopped 12.3 seconds for the entire course. Not her best, but still faster than any known species in the galaxy. You're getting slow, Vex'na, Krazak called from his observation platform. The last PX Lari champion managed 15 seconds before you turned him into abstract art. Vex'na powered down her whips, the memory bringing a pleasant ripple to her scales. That was a good day. Remember how he kept bragging about his species' superior reflexes? Until you moved so fast his reflexes couldn't even register you were there. Sergeant Grox lumbered into the arena, his massive crystalline enhanced frame casting prismatic shadows. But my favorite was that Zentarian berserker last cycle, the one who claimed pure strength would overcome all. Krazak laughed, his gill plates fluttering. Didn't you fold him into a pretzel? Origami, Grox corrected, flexing his augmented muscles. The art form is called origami. I studied Earth culture for 3 minutes this morning. Fascinating how they waste time folding plant fiber into shapes. Through the quantum glass observation window, they could see their human opponent in the adjacent training room. Amanda Chen was sitting cross-legged on the floor, not moving, not even using basic bioenhancement meditation. Look at that, Vex'na hissed. She's not even practicing. This is an insult to the Imperial Guard. Krazak activated his tactical scanner, analyzing the human's vital signs. Heart rate steady, breathing normal. She's just sitting there. He switched off the scanner in disgust. This reminds me of the time we faced that Andromedian mystic. Remember? He claimed his species had transcended physical combat. That was fun, Grox rumbled. Didn't he try to win through philosophical debate? Right until you demonstrated the philosophy of a quantum-enhanced fist to his face. In her training room, Amanda opened one eye and seemed to look directly at them through the supposedly one-way quantum glass. She winked. Did she just? Vex'na's gravity discs wobbled in indignation. Impossible, Krazak declared. The glass is military grade. She can't see us. Just like she won't see you coming tomorrow, Vex'na. Lieutenant Vex'na ran the obstacle course 5 more times, each run faster than the last. Sergeant Grox crushed titanium alloy blocks into powder and juggled plasma cores. Captain Krazak reviewed combat footage from their greatest victories, making notes on how to make the final strategy trial appropriately humiliating. The human continued sitting. "You know what this reminds me of," Grox said during their evening tactical review. "That human myth about a wooden horse. Studied that in my 3 minutes too." "Enlighten us," scholar of primitive cultures Vex'na said, her voice dripping with sarcasm. "Humans once won a war by pretending to give up and leaving a big wooden horse as a gift. But soldiers were hiding inside. The enemy took the horse into their city and, well, it didn't end well for them." Krazak's scales rippled with dismissal. "That's a myth, you quantum-brained colossus. And even if it were true, what's your point? Just saying maybe we should take this more seriously." The room fell silent for exactly 2.3 seconds before erupting in laughter. Through the window, Amanda Chen stood up, stretched like she was preparing for a light workout, and walked out of the training room. She passed their door on her way to her quarters, humming something under her breath. Was that as she humming the Imperial Victory March, Vex'na asked, her neural whips twitching. "Probably doesn't even know what it means," Krazak said. But he found himself checking his armor's integrity for the 3rd time that day, just in case. The Imperial combat arena stretched 2 kilometers across, its quantum glass dome refracting the light of 3 suns. Holographic displays larger than battlecruisers showed the gathered crowd every possible angle of the upcoming spectacle. The Emperor's private observation pod hovered at the perfect vantage point, his bioluminescent pattern cycling through official ceremony colors. "The first trial is speed," the announcer's voice boomed through quantum speakers. "Lieutenant Vex'na of the Imperial Guard versus Amanda Chen of Earth." The crowd's excitement turned to confusion as Amanda walked into the arena wearing the same simple cotton outfit from yesterday. No armor, no visible weapons, not even basic shield generators. Several medical pods moved into position around the arena's perimeter, their AI systems already calculating probable injury scenarios. Lieutenant Vex'na made her entrance like a quantum storm. Her gravity disks left trails of ionized particles as she zoomed around the arena's perimeter, neural whips creating a light show that drew appreciative gasps from the crowd. She finished with a triple backward spiral that literally bent spacetime. "Show off," Amanda said, rolling her shoulders. "The rules are simple," the announcer continued. "First competitor to successfully navigate the obstacle course and tag their opponent wins. Interference with opponents is allowed and encouraged." The obstacle course materialized a twisted maze of quantum barriers, gravity wells, plasma streams, and dimensional shunts that would challenge even the most advanced AI pathfinding systems. Competitors ready. Vex'na's neural whips crackled with enough energy to slice a small moon in half. Amanda did a few basic stretches. "Begin." Vex'na launched herself into the course like a comet, her gravity disks leaving reality warping distortions in her wake. The crowd cheered as she navigated the first series of obstacles with practiced ease. Her neural whips cleared paths through plasma streams, her movements a blur even on the magnified displays. Amanda started jogging. "Is she mocking us?" a Zentarian diplomat asked no one in particular. Vex'na reached the quarter mark in record time, already plotting her return trajectory to tag the insufferably casual human. She risked a look back, expecting to see Amanda still at the starting line. Amanda was right behind her. What Vex'na's gravity disks actually hiccuped. How? While Vex'na had been blazing a spectacular path through the course, Amanda had simply run through it. No fancy moves, no reality distortion. She ducked under plasma streams that Vex'na had spent energy dispersing. She stepped through gravity wells at angles that somehow canceled their effects. She slid through dimensional shunts like she was playing a children's game. Impossible. Vex'na poured more power into her disks, pushing them beyond safe limits. She reached the halfway point and turned, neural whips ready to intercept the human. Amanda wasn't behind her anymore. "Looking for me," the voice came from ahead. Amanda was 3/4 through the course, still moving with that same efficient jogging pace. She hadn't even broken a sweat. The crowd's confusion turned to buzzing excitement, Bookmakers in the upper levels frantically adjusted their odds. The Emperor's patterns shifted to intrigue magenta, and all pretense of style. She shot through the remaining obstacles with pure speed, her gravity discs leaving scorch marks on reality itself. Her neural whips lashed out, trying to create an impassable barrier between Amanda and the finish line. All slide, passed under the whips, rolled to her feet, and kept running. Someone shouted from the stands, "Just meat, muscles, and bones." Stretched neck and neck with Amanda. The lieutenant's gravity disc screamed with power, her neural whips crackling like angry quantum serpents. Amanda looked like she was out for a pleasant morning run. Nay screamed, pushing her discs to their absolute limit. "I am the fastest being in the known galaxy." Waved as she passed Vex'na like the lieutenant was standing still. She reached out with one casual hand and tagged Vex'na's shoulder. "You might want to recalibrate your gravity discs. The left one's wobbling." The crowd fell silent. The medical pods powered down, confused by the lack of injuries to treat. Giant displays 9.7 seconds. A new galactic record. And bowed slightly. "Great race. You've got amazing control with those neural whips. Ever considered taking up fencing? You'd be a natural." Gave one final sputter and died, leaving her floating in place, mandibles hanging open in shock. The announcer's voice cracked slightly. "Amanda Chen of Earth." Frenzy of cheering, betting calculations, and furious diplomatic messages. The Emperor's patterns cycled through colors so quickly his pod had to engage anti-seizure protocols. Captain Krazak watched the replay for the fourth time, his scales shifting between disbelief and concern. "Sergeant Grox. I should engage your armor's full power settings. And I've requested an emergency upgrade to the quantum enhancement core." Krazak watched Amanda chat casually with the still-frozen Vex'na. "We're not taking any chances, not after that." He saw Amanda glance his way and give another friendly wave. Certain she could see through the one-way barrier, and he was starting to wonder what else she could see that they couldn't. The arena reconfigured itself for the strength trial, quantum machinery humming as it generated a series of increasingly massive obstacles. Sergeant Grox stomped into position, his crystalline armor now glowing with enough power to rival a small sun. Emergency coolant vents released clouds of super-chilled plasma around his feet. Amanda remarked, still wearing her cotton outfit, now slightly dusty from the speed trial. Grox's voice resonated through multiple subspace frequencies. "This is pure strength. No tricks, no running, just power against power." Second trial. Strength. Competitors must lift, move, or destroy all obstacles in their path. Last one standing wins. A cube of quantum-reinforced titanium alloy, 5 meters on each side. Grox grabbed it with his enhanced gauntlets and crushed it into a ball the size of a pea. The crowd roared. The cube knocked on it twice, then pushed it over with one finger. It fell with a thunderous crash. Cooling systems worked overtime. That's impossible. Everything has a weak point. Even quantum-reinforced alloys. Hit them right, and she demonstrated by tapping another cube, which collapsed into perfectly sectioned pieces. Gravity-enhanced pillars designed to be immovable. Grox roared, his armor blazing with power as he tore his pillar from its foundation. Amanda walked around hers, studying it with apparent interest, then pressed what looked like a completely random spot. The pillar disintegrated. The Emperor's patterns had settled into a steady pulse of fascinated gold, most illuminating. "Captain Krazak, are you watching this?" Most of their luster. "Yes, my Emperor. The first think I understand now." Sparkled with amusement. I rather doubt it. Grox unleashed more power with each obstacle, his crystalline armor approaching critical levels. Amanda continued her methodical approach, each movement precise and economical. She didn't overpower the obstacles, she simply understood them. Bellowed, crushing a quantum singularity with his bare hands. Fight with honor. Dispersing her own singularity with a series of light taps. I'm honoring the most fundamental human combat principle: work smarter, not harder. Replica of an Imperial battle tank, fully powered and combat ready. Grox charged it head-on, his enhanced strength ripping through armor plating as his crystalline shell absorbed weapons fire. Reached underneath and pulled what looked like a power cable. The tank powered down immediately. Amid the wreckage of his tank, coolant systems now venting emergency plasma. That's. Also, you might want to power down your armor before it explodes. You've exceeded the quantum enhancement core's safety limits by about 300%. Armor in horror. Warning signals screamed through his neural interface. With a defeated groan, he initiated emergency shutdown, his enhanced strength fading to normal levels. Amanda Chen of Earth. Now they were taking notes. Captain Krazak reviewed the footage with shaking hands. Every movement, every casual tap and gentle push, it all made horrible sense now. The human hadn't been showing off or playing games. She'd been teaching them lessons they were too arrogant to learn. Said to his adjutant, "Request permission to." From directly behind him. That would be logical, but not very entertaining, would it? How did you get in here? The quantum barriers. Corner. Don't worry, I'll show you how to fix it after we're done, she smiled. Ready for the strategy trial, Captain? The Imperial Palace buzzed with activity as the New Earth Embassy was established. Captain Krazak, his scales now a humble shade of blue, supervised his team's preparation for their mandatory year of service on Earth. He said, attempting to fasten a simple button-up uniform. We could have avoided this if we just asked why humans still used buttons. Dexterity training tools, Amanda explained, helping Vex'na with the collar. Just like cotton clothing helps us maintain environmental awareness without relying on tech. With amused satisfaction as he signed the full membership treaty. Tell me, Amanda Chen, or should I say, Grand Master of the Solar System Combat Academy. Turned pale. Rippled. We needed someone to teach my supposedly elite guard some humility. Who better than Earth's foremost combat instructor? His strength lies not in our technology, Amanda added, but in our ability to understand and adapt to it. By the way, Captain, your team starts basic training next week. Hope you all like obstacle courses. In uniform, then at his powered-down armor. For the first time, he started to grin. You know what? I think we're going to learn a lot this year. Now, who wants to learn how to make origami throwing stars?